A lot of cow-calf operations like to sell their calves at around 475 pounds straight off the cow. Some swear you have to background to make any money. So which one actually works? We ran the numbers this morning in the shop. But before we get to that, you know, this year has been pretty good. We have ample hay on hand. Still got plenty of forage out here for these cattle. We haven't had to feed as many cubes this year as normal. Everybody's fat and happy. So with all that said, we've got more hay than we need. We still have feed left. So what's the right decision for us? Do we take these calves straight off the cow, straight to the barn? That cuts out a lot of risk. Easy there. Or, since we have some extra hay on hand, we have some grass out here, that makes our inputs really low. And the chances of making a little more money if we background these calves, maybe we make more money, maybe we don't. We'll see what happens. Let's go take a look at the math. So I just took an average of the markets in Oklahoma last week, kind of averaged that out. And here's what the market was telling us. A 475 pound steer averaged $570 a hundredweight. 6 to 650 pounds we're selling for $460 per hundredweight. So $460 for every 100 pounds the animal weighs. So what is our market telling us? Well, it tells us a 475 pound steer, $2,707 for that calf. Now, if we look at the 625 pound steer or calf, the average 625 in Oklahoma last week, $460 per hundredweight. So $460 for every 100 pounds. So if we take that 625 times $460 a hundredweight, we're coming out with $2,875 per steer. This is what the spring has brung us. So with that information, we know the gross spread is $2,875 minus $2,707 equals $168 per head. Difference in price. What the market is offering for that extra 150 pounds of difference. $168 more for the heavier animal. So for us, it's going to take about 75 days on feed or grass to get this 475 pound animal up to where we're going to sell at 625. So here's how it all pencils out. 475 pounds times 570 a hundredweight equals 2707 per head. 625 pounds at $460 a hundredweight comes out to 2875 per head. The spread on that's $168. So then if we take 168 divided by 150 pounds of gain, that equals $1.12 a pound of gain. Can I gain cheaper than $1.12 a pound? So we can see right here that the market doesn't pay you to background. It pays you for the value of gain. Look at all this. Just gonna go to waste out here. That'll all go to waste out here unless we manage it correctly. This is either an asset or it's wasted. And I don't like to waste the assets that we have. If this grass right here was already paid for, why would you waste it? That's where this whole management thing comes in. You have to manage the assets that you have. So all winter, we've managed this asset. We've managed grass. Some people would say we're not even cattlemen, we're grassmen. We spend our lives managing grass. I don't want to let that go to waste. So since we have extra grass on hand, we have extra hay on hand because we haven't fed as much. I have more protein on hand than normal. Feed, cubes. I've got to come to a decision that affects the financial security of this ranch. Do I take the path that we usually do? You know, pull these calves off, take them to town, sell them, cut out a whole lot of risk. Or do I use the assets we have on hand, background these calves, put a couple 100 pounds more on them, say from 450 to 650, and see how we come out, ahead or behind. Backgrounding these little guys don't create profit. Cheap gain does. Here's what the whiteboard doesn't show. It doesn't show death loss. It doesn't show health problems. You know, when you pull these calves off their mama, the chances of them getting sick is going to increase. That's not something we're used to around here. So that's new territory for me. So I keep saying it's going to depend on your situation. We're not all the same. Every one of these ranches is different. We all have different costs associated. The whiteboard doesn't show market drop, but it's possible. I keep some of these calves back. The market goes down. Then that's a whole nother ballgame. There's also weather risk. If these calves back, we don't get any rain, the grass don't start kicking off good this spring, well, then I'm behind again. You know, if you just need your check in a few months, then backgrounding's probably not for you. That's okay. I've been in that situation most of my life where we're running right down on a razor thin line and the income has got to come in to get through hay season, because right now we're thinking about that. That's coming. That's a big expense. Okay, guys, I had to come in out of the rain. I guess I do have enough sense to come in out of the rain. And then there's this whole other aspect of market timing. You know, whenever we're selling these calves at weaning, you know, we pull them off their mom, maybe feed them a couple of weeks, take them to town, or take them right off mom and put them in a trailer and go. We're selling on the calendar date, right? We're not getting to choose when we sell. We have to sell at this weight. When they're ready to go, they go to town. You know, you're at the mercy of the market right then. You know, whereas if you're backgrounding, you get to play with that timing a little. You know, maybe the market goes up real big and you can send them in a little earlier. Maybe the market falls off a little bit. Keep them a little longer. You're not so tied to just the timing of the day. You know, selling at weaning, you're selling at the market. Whatever it is, that's what you're getting. And if you're backgrounding them the way I'm seeing that, or maybe just choosing to look at that, you're getting to sell at an opportunity. But remember, if that heavier market drops $20 a hundredweight, that $168 spread we saw on the whiteboard disappears real fast. For this ranch, if the grass is here and the numbers work, we'd rather sell for pounds, not potential. But that doesn't make it right for everyone. We all have to make the best decision for what fits our circumstances. So I would like to ask, what are you guys doing? Are you guys selling at weaning? You going to keep them back, try to background them a little bit? And what's your cost of gain? Those are 3 questions I'd like to see some replies on. Because, hey, man, I'm just like everybody else. I'm still trying to figure this out. And if anybody tells you they got it figured out, you better go the other way. Once again, thanks for watching. Hit that like button if you like what we're doing. Subscribe, share it to a friend. All those things help us in this venture to get the message out. And remember, we're not trying to make decisions on 10 days, 10 weeks, or 10 months. We're thinking 10 years ahead in the future. Thanks for watching, Blue Mounds Valley Ranchers.